What's good, y'all? I am calling in all my regulars. I want you all to report to the live because I've got a story to tell and you all need to hear it. You guys have been following me and following this journey and picking up tips and tricks on how to become who you are to come in this lifetime. So I'm calling you to the live. What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I am. I'm no longer going to say and put myself in a box because I just am. I'm that motherfucking deal. And I could teach you how to become that motherfucking deal. Check out my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. Check out my coaching services. I have such an amazing story to tell, but before I get into my story, because I'm attracting my community so that they can pick up on the fact that I'm up and I'm live. You guys are always like, man, I'm happy I caught your live. You know, I don't have a set time that I go live anymore. But when I go live, I need my tribe to feel it energetically. Call yourself. Some reason you pick up your phone, you're scrolling, and you see my little icon pop up. Pay attention. I'm calling in the tribe. I know exactly what Queen says now. It's really weird. I sound just like her. That's what Bailey was telling me last night. When Queen said, but anyway, while they're waking up to the fact that I'm here, I posted a video where I'm talking to Queen. I asked Queen, hey, why do you cover your head? And Queen was like, these are her antennas. And so she doesn't want people to tap into her energy source. So she makes sure she keeps her third eye covered and she keeps the top of her head covered. Now, I didn't know. It's funny, right before I awoken to this space in my life, I had longer locks. My locks were like mid back, but I don't like long hair. I was a lifelong, I wish I had long hair black girl until I got long hair, and I was like, this stuff is heavy, it's on my neck, it's hot, I don't like it. And so I cut my locks to shoulder length. I like shoulder length hair or shorter. And manageability, I don't know, they probably all look good. I mean, I look good with some long braids, but manageability, I just want my hair to be cute. Per me, I think my hair is cute. Anyway, so I cut my hair to shoulder length, and then there was a period where I had paralysis in my right arm. I associate, no, I want you to please leave. I told them we're not accident, sorry. Okay, well then accidentally find my money. It's okay. If you took it, you didn't know what you were doing. You don't steal on accident, you purposefully steal. So if you did steal from me, then you did it on purpose, and you can go find my money because you're 4. So I know you didn't take my money to no convenience store. So it's in this house. Yeah, somebody took the money off of my altar, and I know who took the money off of my altar. And I know the money was taken off of my altar because we've been going through it. And I was like, damn, I got X amount of money sitting on my altar and I ain't spent it. Like, that's another level of discipline, that I got this money on my altar and I actually need this money to pay these bills, but I know it's a no-no to take the money off the altar, and I'm still putting money on the altar even though I need all the money that comes in. I'm figuring out how to do this ancestral altar work and just altar work in general, because my altar ultimately will expand past just ancestors. But the other day I went to go put some change in there, and this is how spirit set it up. And this is how I know who took my money is who took my money, because spirit just confirmed for me that the reason why I had the change to put on my altar was because this person asked me to go buy them something. And so it left me with $2 and some change. And I was like, I'll give them the change, because when I was told to set up my altar, I was told to put coins and tobacco on my altar. And so whenever I have change, I find change around the house, I put it on my altar. So I was like, I know they want these coins, but they don't want these $2. And Spirit said, put the $2 on the altar. Now that I found out that my money's missing, I know that Spirit had me put the $2 on the altar so that I can count my money and I can feel my money. So I was like, well, the change thing is filled all the way up here, so the bills are kind of hanging out the top. So I have another little empty jar in there, so I put the bills in the other empty jar so that they had their own space. And when I did that, I know I counted the money, and I know I felt the thickness of the money. And I know that I've been impressed with myself because I'm like, yo, this is enough money to cover a bill on this here altar. I'm impressed with myself. And so, being impressed with myself, I know there was more than $24 on my altar. Two of those dollars I just put up there. When I've been putting money on my altar for almost a year now, 9, 10 months, you want to tell me that there's only $24 on my altar? No. Somebody took my money. And what kids don't understand is, as you tell them, that's why I'm not telling Angel directly. I already told her too much. I disclosed which child it is, but I'm not telling this child directly how I know that they took my money. But I'll tell you guys. Kids know how to sneak because we teach them how to sneak. Because we tell them all the things they did because we're so smart. We tell them all the things that they did in order to fool us. Or in order for us to know they did it, right? You left sugar all over the table and you didn't close the bag correctly and you didn't put it, I put the labels this way and you put the label that way. So in order to show them this is all the superior stuff that we do to, know that we did it this way because we all have a methodology, we're also teaching them these are the things you need to do to deceive me. And so kids get better at sneaking as they get older because they're actually listening and taking notes. We're all scientists, right? So, okay, I know I didn't sneak correctly the first time, but how am I supposed to sneak the second time? Okay. And so they're taking notes. But the younger kids haven't taken those notes yet. And now that we know that we are teaching our kids how to be deceptive, we need to stop teaching them that. Unless we're doing it in a classroom format. Because every lesson needs to be taught, but it needs to be taught in a controlled environment. Our home is the controlled environment, which means we always have to be in our scientific mindset. We always have to know that this is a lesson. This is a lesson. This is all a controlled environment. That's why I said this is an 18-year classroom. This is a controlled environment, but you have to control every aspect of the environment. Anyway, so this time I was just like, they're trying to blame it on the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old took the money. Okay. The 4-year-old has never... Me and the 4-year-old had a conversation because he used to go in my altar and take my coins. And I was like, no, these are very special, important, da-da-da-da-da. He's never went for the bills. He's always gone for the coins. And you want to tell me the one time he goes in my altar, he goes for the bills? And he doesn't go for all the bills. He goes for some of the bills. You want me to believe this, right? And then when he does go for the bills, he puts them back into the cup, wrapped up the way that I had it. You want me to believe that a 4-year-old did that? A 4-year-old who would take something out of a wrapper and throw the wrapper to the side, we're remedying that. You want to tell me that's who stole my money? Stop trying to get your brother to be the fall guy. But since it is that the 4-year-old is the one that stole my money, that must mean that money is in this house somewhere. So this entire house is shut down until my money shows up. And whoever took my money is anticipating that, this is better. Whoever took my money is anticipating that, I'm trying to invite the girls. I was working to attract them, but that's taking too long. So I'm just gonna call the girls in here. Yeah, these kids think they smart, but they're not. And it's sad. But anyway, let me start telling this story. How you doing, food and fragrance lover? How you doing? Last night was an extremely blessed moment. And if you're familiar with my story, then you guys have been watching a mass awakening. And recently I've been saying that I'm not human. But last night I was talking, because I'm not. But that's because I have tapped into my higher consciousness to where last night I woke up to the fact that I'm an angel. But that's getting ahead of the story. But those of you who have been following my story and I've been saying that I'm no longer human, I'm still human because I was coaching my sister because my sister is in the space of her, I don't want to say ascension, consciousness, awakening, all of the words that we have to describe what is going on, minimalize what's going on. Do you understand? What is happening is at such a level of magnitude that there's no words for what's happening. But when I wrote my book in 2013, What's the Best That Can Happen? When I wrote my book in 2013, What's the Best That Can Happen? Pick up your copy at LonnieLifestyle.com, Amazon.com. Make sure the seller's Lonnie Taylor because there's going to be a lot of bootleggers out there. They bootleg books too. But when I wrote my book in 2013, all the things that I was talking about didn't have names. So the shadow work and the, they used to call shadow work soul searching. So it has a new name every generation. I just called it asking why. And I know shadow work is deeper than just asking why. Those of you who need help, I'm a coach, certified coach now. So you can go and book a one-on-one coaching session with me and I can help you walk yourself through healing yourself. You can definitely pick up the book and do it yourself because this book was channeled. It was given to me so that I could give it to you so you can heal yourself. But when I wrote this book, nothing had a name. In 2023, everything that I wrote about in this book has a name. It didn't. Hey, Carby. And so I'm calling the crew in. I'm letting people know I'm out here. So energetically, you always find me, my friend. We are connected. And so bless that baby that grows inside of your belly. Bless the union that created that baby. Bless the home that baby will thrive, that is thriving and growing in. Bless the mother's mind. Bless the father's mind. Bless the sibling's mind. Bless the home. Clear all energies that no longer serve this family. Release them and remove them. You do not belong here. This is not a place for you. You don't belong here. Remove yourself from their home. Remove yourself from their minds. Remove yourself from their hearts. Remove yourself from their voices. Remove yourself from their energy fields completely. This is a place of love. This is a place of peace. This is a place of healing. All strongholds that people in this home suffer with, remove them now. Those energies of the past, remove them now. The ideologies of the past, remove them now. This child is an angel. This child was brought forth to save this family. When people say that a baby is here to save our family, that's what they say, but they do not do the work to believe that truly this child has come forth at this time. This particular time, this child could have came at any time. This child is coming at this time to save your family, but you all must do the work to save your family. So I call on our higher selves, our God, our angels, our guides, our ancestors. Whoever stands for us are only allowed to enter this circle in this moment. Those who stand for us are only allowed to enter this sacred space in this moment. You can watch because we need your energy too. We are all manifesting a home that this baby can survive and thrive in and become who they are supposed to come in this lifetime. And as this baby comes and does their work, now mom and dad are doing their work. This baby came to heal your family, but you have to allow this baby to heal your family. If you didn't want your family, you wouldn't be here, but you're still here. So heal your family. I hope that your spouse is listening. Heal your family. Release strongholds. You are stronger than the person you have allowed yourself to be. Be better. Period. Your child, your children, your spouse deserve it. You deserve it. And so it is. Thank you for coming, Carby. Who else can I bless? I woke up yesterday to the fact, hey, Nene, I woke up to the fact that I'm an angel yesterday, Carby. It's amazing. You're welcome. You deserve it. You known in your heart that you follow me for a reason. Thank you. I'm happy that I know your journey enough that I can pray over you with awareness. And I know it to heal. I'm not praying just in vain. I'm praying because you let me know what you're going through so I can help, not help. I can release those strongholds. I can do my part. It's done. Energetically, I just released your family from the binds that held your family. What's up, Fa? Thank you for hearing the call. Those of you are sorry. I just released you energetically. Hello, my friend. But what I want you to do is know that you have to release yourself in the physical world. But you've been praying to God to be released. I just released you. You got to do the work. Fa, I got a story to tell. I've been waiting for y'all to get up on this motherfucking horn. Yo, yesterday, every day is life changing, right? But yesterday has been life changing. And this roots all the way back. It roots all the way back. Like, how can you have childhood trauma if you are doing the work? If you are doing the work, you will come to a space in your work that you understand that everything happened in your childhood, in your adulthood, because trauma didn't stop at childhood, but everything that has happened in your life was for a reason. Shaped every piece of you. Every piece of you, every fucking fiber of you was shaped. How can you resent it? If you're doing the work, truly doing the work. Because you will ascend to a level of consciousness and where you know, yo, every single thing that happened to me, I had to get essayed. Why? Because when I got essayed and I dropped out of school, and the people who essayed me were at my school. So even if it was take your butt to school, I couldn't because the people were there and they were threatening my life. Every single thing had to happen in order for me to end up in Arizona. End up sitting on this bed having this conversation with you. Every single thing. So if you can use your past, no matter what it is, as fuel. It was all supposed to happen. You're right, sis. It was all supposed to happen. How can you resent it? For you, not to you. Thank you for sharing the live. So this, what happened yesterday, of course, happened. It's been happening. But, my God, I don't even know where to start. There's so many pieces, and I'm going to jump around. There's this guy named Brother Courtney at the center. But those of you who've been following the journey, I ended up at the wellness center. If you guys are being called, especially if you're in the online community, Fa and Carby, come to Arizona, figure out how to do it if you're being called. Because I found us. I fucking found us in the physical form. I found us online, and now I found us in physical form. I'm sure you could find you where you're at too. But if you're like, yo, I think she done tapped into it. To the community, she done found it. I done found the fucking community. So come on down. I am moving around, but I'm not. I am here. I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you because I want you to hear this message because I had an awakening. I always say I had the awakening. I thought I woke up when I found out I was God. That wasn't even the pinnacle, y'all. And angels are higher than God. I don't care what nobody says. I know this because I have ascended to an angel. And before I was an angel, I was God. So if I knew that I was God and I've ascended to an angel, that means that angels in the hierarchy things, but there's no hierarchy. You just have levels of awareness, right? I'm an angel, but I'm also God. I'm also a God. I'm also higher consciousness. I'm also ascending. I'm also awakening. I'm also, that's not right. That doesn't seem right. So do you understand that there's been levels of my awakening and you guys have all watched it in these videos? So you watch me go from I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this to I'm an angel. And I woke up to yesterday that I'm an angel. It's a lot of those awakening every second. if you forgot that, you got to remember the people stuff. That's what God told me yesterday. That's what I woke up to yesterday, because Queen, my sister, where she's really my sister from past lives. Like, we've been together. She told me, she was like, Lonnie, we've been doing this for lifetimes. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But I woke up yesterday. She and I and Brother Courtney are brothers and sisters, and we've been doing this thing since time started. What we are doing, what you guys are going to become privy to in doing, what I've been doing by myself, what she's been doing by himself, what Brother Courtney has been doing by himself. We are coming together, the triad. I used to call myself, let me find my book. I used to call myself Trinity. Hold on. When I tell you this thing is in motion, this thing is in motion. And those of you who are watching it, you're watching it in real time. I used to call myself Trinity. So I knew there was power in the three. I just didn't know what it was. Today I met the other two in my Trinity. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Those of you know I reconnected with Queen because I was sitting on a street corner. That's an important piece too, because that's a miracle. We've all been working magic. We all have been praying for our breakthrough. And understand, in praying for our breakthrough, we're praying for y'all's breakthrough too. Why? Because I am committed to sharing everything I figure out. Queen is committed to growing. Like, Queen has a building of 14, 15, 2,400, 4,000. I don't know how big the building is. And it's big, and we just the only two people in there. She has been given this building that she is keeping open for us. She don't know how she keeping this building open, but Spirit told her, keep this building open for us. And so as she meets spiritual beings, she's like, yo, join the community. And she has such, passion. And I haven't expressed that passion in front of her and to her, or tapped into her passion, because it's her passion, right? But what happened last night, because I took a gummy in her presence. I don't take gummies unless I'm at home, but we went to First Friday, and I was like, ain't no way I'm going to be in a chill atmosphere and not be in my element. And so I walked over and I found in the event, synchronicities. I'm telling you, this story is so fucking beautiful. I need to get off of this live and actually write it down. But this is my life. I'm never going to forget this. So whenever I do sit down and write it, it's just going to be in a different perspective. Every time I retell this story, it'll be from a different perspective, because it's so just, I hear it glistening and in my ears, because there's so many different ways of how this blessed moment happened. A year ago, First Friday was the first time I went to First Friday, because I was doing art and I wanted to go to the art galleries. When I tell you, this event that I went to last night and I was a vendor at was right across the street from the art gallery that I walked into, that I wanted to show my art at. Right across the street. And I kept looking at it and I was like, you're not worthy of my art. You didn't reject me. Spirit knew that your walls are not worthy of my art. But it's crazy because the venue that I was at, and I should have took a picture of it, but it doesn't matter. The venue that I'm at, it's right across the street. And the dispensary, not the dispensary, but a place that sells gummies, is right there. Like, I know where I am. I never know where I'm at. I never know. I have no sense. I actually got lost driving home. I was so anxious because it had been 6 hours, so I wasn't, immediately. But it was just like, okay, I was still in the space where nothing looks familiar. So I'm driving home and Queen's following me and I'm like, I don't know where I am. But I'm calling Queen, but energetically my call's not connecting with Queen. We think things are happening because it's happening in the physical world. You're not answering your phone. No, I was calling Queen to tell Queen I was lost and I didn't know where I was and to stop following me. But Queen didn't answer her phone. Because energetically, Queen was forbidden to answer the phone. Do you understand? Your intuition is forbidding you from doing things. This morning, we had massages to do. It was a couple, and they canceled. And Queen has been trying to put this energy on me. But last night, I woke up to it, and I've been letting Queen beat on me. And the thing is, the reason why I was resenting it, we had our conversation yesterday. The reason why I was resenting it is because, hey, I said find my money. No plane. Anyway, so I've been resenting and building up against Queen because a lot of the stuff that Queen's putting on me ain't my fault. Like, Queen, no, I didn't do that. Somebody called to get a reading and Queen was like, what are you talking about? Oh, we don't do readings like that. Huh? Because our reader left. We do readings. Well, yeah, I do readings, but I don't need cards. Marlisha told me that. She's like, you don't need cards. That's amateur hour. And I'm not going to say it's amateur hour, but I'm going to say I don't need cards. But knowing that I don't need cards and that I'm still reading is two different things, right? I woke up to the fact I saved souls last night. Those of you, it may take me a while to get to my point, but please stay on this because I'm going to help you as I tell this story. I'm already helping you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. This live is monumental. People need to hear it. Anyway, so Queen is like, I don't know what's going on, yada, 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 about the card reading. Like, that's the energy you put on it. And then when she got off the phone, I was like, well, I'm not going to do it. I'll just observe you doing the card reading. And so when the people never showed up, she was like, you put that energy out there and that's why they didn't show up. And I was like, well, maybe they didn't show up because you sound like you didn't know what you were doing on the phone. You didn't know what they were talking about. No, it's because, and this isn't how the conversation is going, but no, it's because you put that energy out there. I was like, okay, I'm going to receive what you're saying, but I know that's not the truth. But it could be the truth. Because there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 infinite truths. You choose which truth you want to focus on to heal. So I'm going to focus on and receive my mirror that my thought process stopped something from happening to me, which she is correct, now that I've done a little research. But also my feedback is correct as well. So I did something in the energy field. You did something. So it's moving from spirit world to energy field. So my language is now changing again. I did do something within the energy field, but you did something in the physical world. So you fucked it off in the physical world, and I'm here to help you with your physical world work. And I did something in the energy field, and you're here to help me do some energy field work. She is truly my sister. She is truly teaching me how to... She's not teaching me she's teaching me the possibilities. All of you guys have taught me the possibilities. You all have been phenomenal teachers. But she is awakening me. You guys have awakened me. If it's not $2, there's more. Bring me the $50 that has left my room. You keep bringing me the change from the money that you stole from me when all you got to do is say you stole my money. Thank you. You can leave the $2 and bring me the rest of the 50. Gone now. I'm in the middle of my stuff.
You need like 4 more?
No, any money you find in this house belongs to me or your sister, and you probably been stealing from Dre too. Go and get up out of here.
It's Kane only.
It's not Caden. Caden ain't taking nothing. But y'all could try to blame it on the 4-year-old who don't even know what's going on. But based on the fact that he just set the money in my altar, he didn't put it where it belongs, lets me know he did not take the money. Y'all just don't know who you're talking to. I see what it is before it saw it. Spirit told me before it happened. So I know who took my money, and this whole house is shut down until they tell me. Period. So go pretend to look for money a little bit more. Go ahead.
He's the one who lost it.
Okay, we could blame it on Caden. Shut my door. I'm telling a story. These little crappers done took the money up off my altar. They done took the money up off my altar. I told them the ancestors on that ass. You better figure it out quick. You better figure it out quick. Anyway, yeah, so all of you have been great teachers to me. But Queen and Courtney are my brother and sister for many lifetimes, since the beginning of time. That's how old I am. And, oh, am I having a past life memory? Because I know this. That they are my brother and my sister. I don't know circumstances, but I know that we are so ancient that we're from the beginning of time. So that kind of aligns with her telling me I'm Isis. I can see that. Okay, never mind. Courtney told me don't try to make sense of it. Because last night my mind was fucking blown. I'm going to get to the story. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those people who are trying to lead you on. Don't come in here on that energy. Everything that I say is for a reason. If you're not familiar with me, I will feed you every single word that comes out of my mouth. I opened up to my light language last night. Like, my body was contorting and the energy that was flowing through my body. And it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. Like, it was rave. She's high on something crazy type of... It was weird, and it's on camera. The beautiful thing of it is my sister wants to go live all the time. She doesn't know how to record, though. So she's recording. This may be what she wanted. But the thing is, she doesn't know what to record. That has always been my issue. So I am calling into me a videographer, someone who knows what to record. Because I don't know I can't record everything. I need someone on my team who knows what to record. So I'm calling into my energy field. It is done. I need someone who knows how to record, because she's just recording people walking around and everything that's going on. But I'm just like, you need to be documenting what's happening, because this is the awakening. All of the awakenings have been the awakening, but this is the awakening that's going to put me on stages. Like, I put myself on open mic stages, right? I put myself on hosting an open mic. Y'all, I ended up on the fucking mic and it wasn't an open mic last night. The story. Anyway, but energetically, I found the person that's going to put me on those stages. I found them. All right, anyway. So I'm sitting on the street corner because my friend Jessica sent me a business card that said, I told these stories if you've watched the videos. Sorry if they're repeating, but they all tied together. Like, I'm documenting my life. God told me in 2013, document your life. So I've been documenting my life. All these things, these moments that we take for granted, if we actually paid attention to these moments, we can start piecing our life together. In the moment that this happened, the only time we remember a moment is when it's a trauma point. Yo, I met this motherfucker right in this moment, and that's why. Or if it's a high, like, oh my God, this is the moment that changed my life. But if you pay attention to every single moment led you to that moment or that moment, then you understand the moments. And you can see the moments when they're happening, and you know that things are going the way that they're supposed to, or you know that things are going the way they're not supposed to, because every single moment looks the same. It all looks the same, but different. Different day. So if you start paying attention, and so I've been documenting my life. So now when I tell the story, you're like, yeah, I watched that video. Yeah, I watched that video. But now let's put them in consecutive succession, or what the word is. Jessica sends me a business card that says, yo, I don't know who this person is, but maybe y'all can collaborate. I'm in the season of yes, the right kind of season of yes. So I'm like, okay, why not? It's not going to hurt me to message this person. In the past, I would have said that, no, I'm not going to message her, or I would say that I would and not do it. Make sure if you say you're going to do something, do something. When someone says, hey, you should look into this, you're like, okay, I will. Do it. Because energetically, you said you would. Where's the balance? Actually doing it. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, Fatima, you told me you're going to send me that that podcast equipment. You don't have to. But energetically, you told me you would. So energetically, you have to tell me you're not. That is balance. You cannot leave something out there and not follow through. I know you're not going to send it because you haven't sent it, and it's okay, because if it was meant to be, it will be done. But energetically, there is a block for you there. This is my divinity speaking to you. This is your divinity speaking through me. Energetically, you put something out there, you did not follow through, therefore there's a block there. So that's just a simple, you could type right there, I'm not going to send it, and that balances the energy back out. Anyway, so she sends me the card, and she's like, she sends me the card, and, or, you know, I messaged a girl in IG, and I'm like, hey, my friend who you don't know told me to message you, a person you don't know. Get off of the bike, please, and go find my money. No one should be in my room. Go find my money. I don't want to see a child. I don't want to hear a child. I want to see my money. And if you're lying, just say you took it and we can move on. Just move on, or make a real fucking effort, which means start cleaning this house from top to bottom. Digging in couches, digging under mattresses. I don't care. Find my money. It's escalating. Do not let it escalate. I don't want to see a kid unless you're bringing me 20s, 10s, and 5s. Don't bring me no quarters. Don't bring me no dollars. You know you took my money, so own your stuff. Otherwise, find it. Period. Don't come in here again. Shut my door. Yeah, I yell again. So I should tell you I can't send it in spirit, but don't convey that. Didn't convey that. Boom. And it's done. Sis, when I tell you depleted, when I tell you our community is depleted, look, the whole world is depleted. Boom. But those of us who are on path and on spirit, so that was a test for you, sis. Let me tell you, that was a test for you. I know it's a test for you because it's a test for all of us. When we are moving within this energy field and we know that we were pulled together for a reason energetically, understand that it's fine. It was. Here we go. But I'm teaching you. I don't need to teach me. I'm teaching you right now. But you're right. It was a test for me as well. But understand, you were just the beginning of me calling this podcast equipment into me. What Spirit told me yesterday was, when you start calling things into your field, it starts showing up in different ways. The first time the podcast equipment showed up was you. Hey, I got this podcast equipment. Let's do a podcast, da-da-da-da. The second time that podcast equipment showed up, I linked up with Queen, and in her back room, she was like, well, I have this microphone. We have this podcast equipment. We're going to start doing a podcast. Hey, sunshine. I know. Thank you. You really, I feel it. Thank you. I feel it. Thank you. And thank you for saying, hey, you really did bring the sunshine. Thank you. Anyway, the second time was Queen has podcast equipment, but I don't know, the just energy's not there to set it up and start doing a podcast. The third time the podcast equipment showed up, I walk into work and there's this guy. It's all the men, right? All the men, and I'm the only woman on the team that's in the room. Queen ain't even there.
Mom,
What?
I stole the money to Cornell because when Angel owes Cornell $20, but Angel scammed Cornell from $20.
No, I don't want to hear the lie that Angel's telling you to tell.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's not the lie.
No. And leave me alone. You can confess later. And you can sit quietly and think about why you stole from me. But I'm busy. And I don't believe that story. Spirit already told me what happened. I'm waiting for y'all to come tell me the truth. Stop interrupting me with your fake stories. Anyway, God told me yesterday, and I was telling Queen, but it's not just Queen, it's all of us. They know to use our children against us. Pay attention, those who we surround ourselves with, but definitely our children. And I feel bad because my children interrupt me, and I'd be like, God damn, the devil is busy. But why would I refer to my child as a devil? My child is not a devil. My child is being used as a tool to block whatever the blessing is that I'm about to deliver. I started paying attention to myself, but I paid attention to it with Queen. And so I delivered the message yesterday because our kids are always with us. And I told Queen, because your child is always with you, they know energetically to use your child against you. So pay attention to every time somebody's delivering a message for you or you're doing something extremely important. Pay attention to how many times your child interrupts you, because your child is being used energetically against you. But the beautiful thing about that, the way that you break that spell is you understand that your child is being used energetically against you, and you feel as a parent, I have to stop and pay attention to what my kid is doing. No, you need to stop your child, and they need to learn time and place. I'm over here downloading a story that's going to change lives, and my children keep interrupting me. They are being used energetically to stop this message. Who's using them? We don't know. But my children are being used. And I have to let myself know that my child is being a disruptor. And am I going to energetically allow my child to disrupt what is flowing? That is a choice. And I choose not to allow my children anymore to disrupt what God has called to be delivered, because I know that this is what God has called to be delivered. And once I have moved into the knowing that I have been called to deliver a message, I will not allow anyone to disrupt it. Now, Fatima, that's what you were talking about when you were like, when I get a download, I must deliver it. I understand. But also, we have to understand when these interruptions are different. You understand? I talked to 2 separate young men last night. One young man I fed his future to. The other man I saw his present. I thought I saw his potential, but upon speaking to him, I saw his present. Because I was like, hold up, Queen, I got to go tell this guy these business ideas. And I went and told him the business ideas, and he was like, yo, I already do that. I was like, oh. Think bigger, buddy. Because if I saw greatness on you and you're actually doing what I'm telling you to do, and this is the manifestation of it, think bigger, buddy. But that's the future into the story. Anyway, so just pay attention to how many times you are in your bag and you're interrupted by whatever your interruptions are. Whatever your addiction is, whatever your habits are, whatever your lifestyle is, whatever your family dynamic is, your pet, whatever it is. Whatever takes you off your square is being used to take you off of your square. And if you wonder why you're not being progressed forward, even food, Spirit says food, exercise, all of these things. I talk about this in my book, The Addiction, where I'm talking about everything that's done out of balance is a form of an addiction. And we only think about addiction because we're like, it's destroying my life. But think about if you were so dependent on something that you can't live without it, it has destroyed that aspect of your life because you are dependent on it. Therefore, it's an addiction, and you must separate yourself from the identity of the addiction. Moving on. Anyway, so I'm sitting on the street corner. Yes. So I messaged this woman, and I'm like, you don't know me, I don't know you, but maybe we can collaborate. She's like, cool. Spirit told me to meet you because she's being used. Hold on real quick. I didn't take it personal. You take it as a learning experience. Oh, she's so hard-headed. Y'all damn spiritual people get on my nerves. Y'all think y'all know everything. Anyway, she takes the meeting. We're at a Starbucks. And we're sitting outside of this Starbucks. And the way that I ended up in this seat, you got to watch the video, but the way that I ended up in this particular seat was so that she could see me sitting on this street corner. I'm not sitting on this street corner. It's so amazing. Last night, she changed my life a second time by sitting on a street corner. And understand that's what full circle means. I'm reading this book, and I have to be as topical as possible because I don't want to scare you people off. Excuse me. Those of you who have a particular indoctrination to be open to new thoughts and ideas, I must slowly, because you're slowly being fed something all the time. You choose what to digest. But I have to slowly introduce this information to you, and you choose what's for you and what's not. But the piece that we are missing in our manifestation is creating a circle of protection around it. We are not, what you all need to do is physically draw the circle. I am the circle, but I have ascended to the level of consciousness where I know that I'm the circle. The circle of life. They were already telling us. I'm the circle, so I'm going to try this theory out. I just became aware of the circle yesterday, and I was working the circle yesterday, y'all. When something comes into my field of awareness, because sis was like, what did you read in the book and you learned? I was like, I don't know. I learned about a circle. And you can't get out the circle unless you close the circle. And it's an energy field you put around your manifestations so that all the distractions can't come in. Everything that's happening in your life and you're in the middle of manifesting and you just starting manifesting, you're manifesting from a place of lack and need and oh my God, all these different things and all these distractions. And I'm 50% committed to this manifestation, but I need a fucking circle. I need to put myself in a goddamn bubble so all this bullshit can't touch me while I'm manifesting. So I learned how to manifest yesterday, y'all, and I was fucking manifesting. I figured this shit out, and I don't know if I should say it on live. I don't know if I need to give you the secret sauce. Those of you who have been following me, you know that I've been trying to figure out how to manifest. I said there is a missing fucking piece, and I'm going to find it, and I found it yesterday. I figured out how to manifest. I've been manifesting, but the piece to manifest this wealth, I figured it out yesterday. And I told you a couple videos back, I was like, God has been working on me about money. And they always tell you, don't listen to broke people about money. I'm not broke. I just don't have the money. Two different things. You're not broke. You just don't have the money. You didn't say, oh, I'm broke. No, you said, I don't have the money right now. Those are two different things. Go ahead, sister. Know what the fuck? Miss Fa. And so Spirit was like, go back to the podcast equipment. I'm gonna finish. Let me finish that lesson. So it's the podcast equipment I've been calling it to myself, but it came three different ways. You understand? To where the brothers are all sitting in a circle. I walk in and they're talking to this guy who's taking these notes. And I'm like, well, who are you? Like, he's like, what do you do at the wellness center? And, oh, what did you say? Well, I'm not going to reread it. I'm going to reread it after I finish this story. I'm going to still be right even if I reread it. So I'm going to reread it and I'm still going to spin it my way. I'm just going to let you know. Anyway, these brothers are all sitting in a circle. The circle is important, okay? Period. When you conduct your business, conduct it in a circle. Period. Whatever that looks like. Anyway, they're sitting in a circle. I walk into the room and the guy, yes, life is very ritualistic. It is. Think about people who accomplish things. They have rituals. People who win games have rituals. People who are at the top of their shit, they have rituals. Everything is ritualistic. You should develop some rituals. Anyway, they're sitting in a circle and this guy, he's taking notes and he was like, what is your contribution to the business? And I was just like, well, it's hard for me to put in words what I do. You know, I tap into higher consciousness. I deliver messages for people. Brother Courtney pulls me to the side later and he was like, you're a medium. You I was like, I talk to dead people. He was like, no, you speak to ancestors. They say dead people because they want us to fear our ancestors, but they're just your ancestors, and you're able to talk to other people's ancestors. I was like, yo, that'll be cool to like know that I could do that. He was like, I'm gonna teach you. And then he goes back. This man pops in, says some shit, then pops out. I wasn't talking to Jessica, I was talking to Queen. I told Queen that no, did I tell Jess? No, I told you. I was talking to Queen, and I was like, Brother Courtney has changed my life, and this man ain't said more than 10 words to me. And the words that he says to me is see, That's the way this man speaks to me, but he has taught me so much. Do you understand that video that I posted in my my stories that you guys got a chance to see, where I was like, I'm just saying something. Something. I don't know what the something is I'm saying, but the something feels good because the way that I'm saying the something that I'm saying, it feels good to your soul, don't it? It make you feel something. But I ain't said nothing. I just said a bunch of something. But because I said something and the way that I said something, ooh, that shit got to your bones. That's how good that something feel. But I ain't said nothing. But I said something. If you got a chance to watch that video and you got to feel the energy off of that video, or you got the chance to feel the energy off of this video, then you understand that someone who is teaching you, someone who is leading you, someone who is energetic, who has entered into your bubble, into your circle, into your energy field, if you have trusted this person enough to allow them to enter your energy field and teach you something, it really don't matter what the hell comes out of their mouth. Because you allowed them to enter your energy field. Now it is an energetic connection. So you ain't got to say nothing for me to learn everything. So Brother Courtney hasn't really said anything to me. And last night when I woke up to who he is to me and what I am to him, I got so excited. He was like, shh, calm down. So even when he let me prophesize over him yesterday. That's what it's called. But he let me speak over his life. He let me feed him. He's aware enough to let me tell the story. God damn it, I got to tell this story. But every piece is just a way to teach you. My life is a classroom, so I can teach you while I tell my story. Anyway, so the brothers are all sitting there having the meeting. The guy asked me what my contribution is. I tap into higher consciousness. I host these classes, where I teach people. I do a book club where I'm going line by line in my book, and we are going to learn how to use every single word in this book together. I have these parties. We have an energy push party coming for New Year's Eve. We're clearing our energy. We have all these different things that are going to happen, that are happening. And, that's what I do. But how do I put this in a box? Because it's never been done before. I was like, I'm taking this spiritual journey to the streets, to the nightlife, mainstream, whatever you want to call it. We are going to pack clubs, healing ourselves. We pack clubs doing demonic stuff. We can pack clubs healing ourselves. And it's going to start at this wellness center. We are going to pack stadiums healing ourselves. And if you know that you came to this lifetime to be a spiritual rock star, do the work, because I'm leading the way. I'm leading the way for us to be spiritual rock stars. Sarah Landon in the council said it. She was like, I know in the next 10 years, and I was thinking this, so it was confirmation, but she's like, Spirit told me in the next 10 years, people like us, channels, are going to be like rock stars. And I was like, yo, I was told the same thing, because Spirit has been telling me Alicia Keys. And, I don't know, I just see Alicia Keys standing on a stage in a stadium of 10,000 people, and I just attached to that name, but I'm going to pack 10,000 seat stadiums doing this that people take for granted. They don't take it for granted. They come in and get what they need and they bounce. But those of you who know, who sit on the entire live, know that everything I say, either you're dealing with it, you've dealt with it, or you're going to deal with it. That's why you're here, and that's why I'm delivering this message. So I will tap into, I'm literally reading y'all's energy fields. And it's, I'm tapping into everybody's energy fields. And those of you who come in for what you need, it's like having a book that has all these different, you can pick up my book, open a chapter, and you can read the chapter independent of all the other chapters. But they also grow together. Fatima, you can, chime in because you've read the book or you've dabbled in the book, so you can speak to this, I'm sure. You can either read this book as a whole, or you can just pop in and read the paragraph, and guarantee whatever paragraph you land on is what you need. This is a resource, what do you call it, where whatever you need, it's a daily bread. Pop in here and read a paragraph and do a journal entry. This is how you use this book to heal yourself. But anyway, yeah, they're sitting there having that conversation, and I'm like, well, I really can't explain what I do, because this is what I do. How do you explain? It's a Bible. Thank you. It is. Concordance. Is that what it's called? My mouth is getting dry, but I'm running out of water. Concordance, where you drop in and get what you need, and you literally can read a sentence. Open this book, read a sentence, and heal yourself. Imbalance is when your core values are not all being addressed in your everyday life. Journal about how you're imbalanced. But let's not take that for granted. Remember, I told you, energetically, you have to balance. Imbalance is when something doesn't align with your core value. I don't even remember what it said, but imbalance, we have many internal. When we develop an internal imbalance, we have a tendency to shut people out and shut down. So I couldn't find, while I was looking for the sentence on imbalance, which would have been impossible, I just flipped open and found a particular a sentence. I found another sentence about imbalance. So whatever you're working on, you're balancing yourself. So just pay attention to the areas. You see, I don't need cards. Just pay attention to the areas where you're feeling that you're not being balanced. And what we're aware of, understand that there's levels that we're not aware of, that we're being imbalanced. Everything needs balance. If I open this book, I must close this book. If I choose to open this book and lay it like this, I did not balance out the energy. I must see things through to the end. That is the high level of balancing that you need to do. You're past the stuff you already know how to do. You're past the stuff that you can teach people how to do. You are into the space of, you want to keep going? I'm so nitpicky at your balance that if you look left, you better look right. And I'm not trying to give you tics, because Spirit's telling me don't have this woman out here doing rituals like people who present with different disorders. That's not what I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, there are aspects of your life that you have taken for granted that you don't know that you're imbalanced, like the podcast equipment, which you then gave me an explanation and you closed that book. So boom, it's done. But there are areas where you may have left things hanging energetically, because we're in the energy field. There's things that you may have left things hanging energetically, and you need to close those things out. And Spirit's going to tell you what they are. And Spirit's going to tell you how to not continue to do that, because now you're aware, because it's been brought into your field of awareness. You know you always show up when you're supposed to, my friend. Anyway, so he's like, and so I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, well, I bring people to the media or whatever. I don't know, he does something, but he does it through podcasts. He's like, I could bring in the microphone so everybody could be heard, and I could bring in the proper equipment. It's going to take me 2 weeks to get the equipment, yada, yada, yada. So when I come back in 2 weeks, I need everybody to tell me what kind of podcast they're going to do. And everybody started laughing, because everybody in the community go to my TikTok page, and they was like, oh, she ain't got no problem with creating content. I was like, yeah, I got about 300 videos just here in drafts. I have over 1,000 videos that I publish just here. And then I have a backup page where I have videos that I publish there that are like a minute and a half or less. And then on Facebook, they go over there. Then they go on Instagram. I'm running my mouth like crazy, like in written form, because I channel through writing. So I channel messages on Facebook, and Twitter, I repost videos. I was channeling messages on Twitter, but that's just too much work for me, because Facebook lets me channel infinitely. right? They don't tell me too many characters, yada, yada, yada. I could just roll in a channel. So this, but in written form. So now you can take that channel, print it out, because now I'm doing energy worksheets so that you can tell me whatever you're working on. Like, yo, I did an energy worksheet for my friend, which, I need to go unlock for her. But she told me she wanted to work on confidence and communication. And so I did her an energy worksheet where I channeled a message for her specifically on how she can work on her confidence and her communication. And now she can go through that, and there's actual prompts where it's just like, okay, let's journal. What did this bring to mind? And then also just knowing that she can take one sentence from that energy worksheet and work on herself with the intention to overcome. So now I'm offering energy worksheets so that people can do the work. And so he comes in with the podcast equipment. So that's how that has manifested how it is now. We about to get the professional podcast equipment. We about to be on the Joe Budden tip looking ass podcast equipment. But it started with you. So if you were supposed to send it, the means would have been sent. But also Spirit wants to know, especially all of us are spirit workers, especially going back to saying it's a test. All of us energy workers who are doing the work, we are all being pressed and pulled and stretched to the point of breaking. And some of us will break because it's a lot. And so we're being pressed and stretched and pulled because Spirit wants to know what I'm about to give you. I'm about to give you your heart's desire. I am. We are all about to get what we've been asking for. It's our birthright. It's already ours. We just had to be ready for it. And they tried for however many thousands of years to keep us from it. And we're finally here. This is a very volatile space for us to be in, because we are waking up to our birthright at a mass level. And that's very dangerous, because if we realize that I've been talking about this for this whole time. I was like, they're harvesting energy, but I don't know who, what, when, where, and why. Freaking Monsters, Inc. They found out that they could make more profit, more money off of positive energy than they did negative energy. So they stopped scaring the kid and started making the kids laugh. They showed us. And the Matrix. Sis, I followed the fluffy white rabbit last night. I followed the white rabbit last night. There's so much to this story, I want to get to it. This is a fucking series. Sorry, a freaking series. Anyway, Monsters, Inc. So, Sesame Street, you gotta explain Sesame Street to me. If I sit on it, I'll figure out what you're saying. But they told us how they harvest our energy. But now the light is waking up, and the light workers are like real deal light workers. You have no idea, making monsters seem friendly, but they're stealing energy. Ooh. I can't wait for that video, sis. Ooh. Make that video. They're stealing our energy. Monsters, Inc.
Mom,
The Matrix.
Mom, I found $20 that I give the rest to Cornell.
I don't want to hear it. Put it right there and keep bringing me the rest of my money. I don't want to hear it. No, the rest of my money got spent at CVS. Stop playing games with me. There's no TV. Just put it down and leave my room. I'm so upset that... Just shut my door. I'm not playing with y'all.
Okay.
I've talked about it with Cookie Monster. Talk about it again, sis. God, Spirit brought it into your field of awareness for a reason. Give us a new perspective now that we're talking about Monsters, Inc. Bring that into it. Just like I said, Cookie Monster, now let's talk about Monsters, Inc. and how they showed us that they're harvesting this energy in our faces. Matrix showed us how they literally got us and unaware of our divinity. But we're starting to pull ourselves free. And now they got to figure out how to harvest us, which they will. But hopefully they figure out that they could harvest our energy from us being happy. The higher we ascend, the more positive energy, the more vibrant the world gets, the more bright the world gets. Like, we shine our own light instead of having to depend on artificial light. Right now we got to depend on artificial light. We're the motherfucking sun. Sun was up in here earlier. Sunshine was up in here earlier. We're the motherfucking sun. But it's easier to go negative. It's so easy to be human. I told this to my sis yesterday. I was like, yes, I'm supposed to reawaken your humanity, but I need to pay attention to the parts of your humanity that I awaken you to. Because someone was being petty, and she was like, how are they being petty? What does that mean? And I was going to explain it to her. I was like, no, I'm not going to tell you what it means to be petty, because then you'll start being petty. Spirit told me I need to pay attention to the what I teach you, because I can't teach you everything, but it is important for you to remember your humanity. Because your humanity is what keeps you grounded. If you don't stay grounded, you're out of balance. And it's important for us to stay in balance. As above, so below. We can't just be above. We can be above, but we also remember all the levels of my ascension are of me. Just because I'm an angel now doesn't mean I wasn't a human before. I was. And I must remember the beauty of my humanity in order for me to continue walking as a human, which I want to do. I like kicking it with y'all, but I also like getting up out of here and not messing with y'all. So I do both. And I'm okay knowing now that I can do both. I just had to wake up to that. Anyway, so that's how the podcast equipment manifested. And that was a lesson for both of us to learn how to balance energy. And those of you out there who say you're going to do something and you don't follow through, you are putting energetic intentions out there. And now people are going to put energetic intentions that are not fulfilled towards you. Everyone who said they're going to come to your event that doesn't. Everyone who said they're going to buy you something but don't. Everybody who says they're going to come and visit but doesn't. Everyone that says they're going to call but doesn't. You are energetically putting out an intention that is not followed through by you with what you said you were going to do. Now you are now putting out the energy into the energy field that now you are going to receive back to you open-ended energy that's not going to be met, because that's how you walk through life. So we have to pay attention to that, myself included, which God has already been working on me with. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. It doesn't matter. You said you were going to do it. So holding myself accountable was how it first manifested. Teaching myself to stop quitting on myself is how it first started manifesting. But now it's understanding from the energy field. And that's how Brother Courtney brought me to understanding that I'm an angel, because he first started with sitting me down and he was like, I'm going to teach you the numerology of your name. And so he was like, okay, bring that number down. And I tried to do it on my own. I couldn't figure that stuff out. But he's like, bring that number down. And he taught me, in your name, that is the work you're supposed to do, the how, or the things that you're supposed to learn and feel and move, experience as you do the work. Not the work, but the different personality traits and all these different things, how you're supposed to move through the work, through the life, is what's in your name, your birth name. Now, your date of birth is why you came to this earth. I'm a 3. I've known that I'm a 3 back in the Dan Millman days when I first started trying to figure myself out. But I didn't know. I've known I'm a teacher my whole life. I've known I'm supposed to do what I'm doing my whole life. I just didn't have the how. But I'm a 3. And so he taught me that. He reintroduced that to me. because I've known since 2009 when I started my, journey, and I learned about Dan Millman and the Way of the Peaceful Warrior and The Secret and The Alchemist and all those different things. All that was brought to me back then. And so now when Brother Courtney comes to me and he's like, okay, I need to walk her back into her divinity, but I can't walk her back into her divinity by just saying, you're an angel. She won't believe it. So I have to plant the seeds. You have to understand, if you're listening to me, I'm just planting seeds. All this I'm talking about, if you come in here and you're sitting here with the intentions that I know that everything that's coming out of this woman's mouth is for me because I don't waste my time anymore. And if Spirit is telling me to sit on this goddamn live, it's because whatever's coming out this woman's mouth is for me, period. Everything that comes out of my mouth is for you. Which means the 2-3 people that are sitting on this live, I have the same message for both of you. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for getting this healing energy on you. That's boss stuff. Anyway, so he was like, I can't walk her back to her angelic knowing by saying you're an angel because she won't believe me. But he started planting seeds. The first seed that he planted was, I'm going to teach you the meaning behind your name. And then he said, I'm writing a book that's titled yada yada yada. I'm not going to disclose his information. And I was like, okay. And then, thank you for all you shared. Have a great day. You too, friend. He was like, I'm gonna give you this, or this is the book that I'm writing, and you're the person that's gonna help me write this book. And I was like, okay, I'm down, shoot. And he was like, I'm going to teach you. Because I was like, I teach people how to wake up to who they are. And he was like, and I'm going to teach you how to wake up to who you are, which I have been asking universe, demanding, begging the universe, where I was like, look, who am I? I've never met anyone like me. So I can't model myself after someone. No one can teach me. No one can tell me what the hell I'm doing. I'm just out here spinning my wheels. I need someone to present themselves who's like me, who can teach me. And I don't even know if Brother Courtney is 100% like me. I know he's something. But he's already taught me so much. And he ain't said nothing to me. Anyway, so he brought me into my divinity by showing me what my name means, what my birthday means, and now I'm open to this particular individual showing me who I am, right? And he started in the physical world, and then he moved into the energy world. You can't start in the energy world, you have to start in someone's physical world, because that's how I have to see it before I believe in energy. Everything is well. I hope everything is right with you and well with you. Thank you. And so that's what he did. Anyway, I'm sitting on this street corner and I see this woman walk by with this yellow head wrap. Not head wrap, but she has on the garb that covers her third eye and her hair. And she goes into the chiropractor and she comes out. And I remember seeing her because I was like, that yellow is vibrant and bright. It's beautiful. And when she's driving by to leave the parking lot, she says, Spirit told her to turn your head to the right. And she was like, why do I need to turn my head to the right? But she was obedient. And she turned her head to the right. And she was like, she told me because she doesn't remember who I am, but she knew me energetically. And she said, is that Lonnie? And I was like, I didn't hear her. And I thought she was talking to the woman I'm with because she was engaging, or the woman I was with was engaging with her. And I was like, well, I don't know you. I was like, well, I know you ain't talking to me, but hey. And she was like, I am talking to you, Lonnie. And I was like, who is that? So I go and I walk up to the car and I see that it's Queen. I was like, and I noticed you in that bright yellow head wrap. And so I give her the biggest hug. It was an energy exchange in that hug. You know how we get those fake hugs, but I gave her a real, I miss you hug. She's like, yo, I got a center. Come check it out, yada, yada. And I feel drawn. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the center and I'm going to go check it out. So that's how I ended up reconnecting with Queen. That's very important to know. Because everything was so random. So when you're going through life and you're trying to see how you're being led, stop looking at what's familiar, because what's familiar created what is familiar. Start looking for the completely random things that are happening in your life, because those are the things that are happening to start changing your life. So Queen introduces me to Brother Courtney, and on the night that she meets introduces Brother Courtney, he's like, there's a drum circle tomorrow. So all the text messages are going around. We really could create a network of, when we see somebody in our community doing stuff, we just automatically promote them. I saw this young lady whose event that I went to for the full moon on the whatever day she had it. I went to her event. We connected. And I just know in my energy field that whenever I see her hosting an event, I'll repost it. What's it going to do to me? Nothing. What's it going to do for her? Something. So why not? Because I want people energetically to just see one of my flyers or see one of my videos or, see those different things. You're like, hey, I'll share it. Why not? What's it going to do to me? Nothing. What's it going to do for her? Something. And then people are going to start seeing what you're putting out there. And they're going to start thinking, what's it going to do for me? Nothing. What's it going to do for her? Something. And now you see how you put that energy out there. And so now that energy is matched. I started the Sister Support Network. My cup is in the car, but I started the Sister Support Network because the whole premise was if we support each other, our community will support each other. So I started that, and now I'm doing it in real life. So when I seen old girl post her next event, hey, be quiet. When I saw old girl post her next event, I just reposted it, and she saw that and she felt honored because she was like, yo, thank you. Because who really supports somebody if there's no benefit to them? That's rare. So do you understand how special you are when you start doing something that nobody else does? You want to follow the trend or you want to be the trend? Are you a trendsetter or are you a follower? Anyway, so she introduces me to Brother Courtney. Me and Brother Courtney sit down. He immediately sits down, and it happens to be the new moon. It happens to be the new moon. Brother Courtney is only at the center specific days. He happens to be at the center on the new moon, and Queen's like, we need to do some candle work. And I was like, okay, I'm curious about candle work, so why not? Hold on. Yeah, you can probably see my underwear. Oh, who cares? Underwear are the same as a bikini. There you go. Here's my candle that I burned for the new moon. These are all, one says feminine, one says prosperity, and one says it's not witchcraft. It's, I don't know what those, I don't know. But anyway, they're good signs. Prosperity, femininity, love, those types of things. But that's my candle. And she was like, let's do some candle magic and call in this wealth and abundance. But make sure that you call it in for the center. Because if the center is taken care of, then we're all taken care of. Remember, if the collective, when you're doing your candle work and you're doing your prayers, you need to be praying for the world and humanity. Because if humanity is doing well, you're doing well. How we're messing up is we are praying for ourselves and for our own outcome. And since we're only praying for ourselves and our own outcome, humanity continues to suffer because everybody doesn't pray. But if you're so powerful that you're manifesting for yourself, imagine if you prayed to manifest for others. And as they rise you. It's just the energy output. You have to pay attention to that. I'm going to get off of that. Anyway, so we're doing the manifestation and everything's in a circle. I'm here, Courtney's here, Queen is here. And there's a point in the thing, we do our parchment paper, we do our prayers and intentions, energetically set our intentions, hold our candles. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, or you're spooked about what I'm talking about, why don't you come to one of our candle manifestation events and see what I'm talking about? Get to know it before you fear it. Because somebody reported my video, do you really think that I would have my kid in the middle of, well, people do. But that's what you determine is an unsafe space. I saw a video where they were hog tying little children and throwing them into the pool, and the kids were untying themselves from being hog tied and swimming to the surface. And I'm watching this and I'm like, what kind of swim training is this? To me, I would think that this is abusive. I would think that this is, traumatic to these children, but to them it's not. So there's people who energetically or physically put their children in situations that other people look at and they're like, I would never. Well, you would never. I had my child in a candle manifestation workshop and it was beautiful. He was able to manifest the clarity of his speech. He was able to heal himself using prayer, using the collective energy. Do you understand when two or more come together? You're over there praying for whatever the pastor tells you to pray for that ain't got nothing to do because you're praying for the doorknobs and keeping his life afloat? No. When two or more come together, just like this is a Bible, the sanctuary is our church. Not the sanctuary. Okay, I see you. The center is the sanctuary. We come together and we manifest collectively. We're praying for each other. And in praying for you, you're praying for me. And now we're creating that energy of love to where now we all win. But set my intentions, my energetic intentions. And we went and we set and we concentrated on the fire. And we, set our intentions that way and prayed for each other and prayed for the center. And then we let our candles burn. And the brothers Courtney's candle was a 7-day, all of them were 7-day candles. Brother Courtney's candle burned like in 4 days. Like it was shh. And I heard Queen saying, she kept telling Brother Courtney, whatever you are manifesting is going to come to pass. And it was some powerful magic you did. I don't know what he manifested. But I know what happened yesterday was magic. And so that's the first time that the three of us sat down and did magic together. Hey, Young Bear. Anyway, so Brother Courtney tells Queen that night, there's a drum circle happening, yada, yada. And he gives everybody the wrong day. So everybody shows up on the wrong day, except for us, because we're working or whatever. Spirit did not have us show up on the wrong day. And then we find out that it's actually first Friday that the drum circle is happening. Brother Courtney tells Queen that it's an open mic type situation, that everybody just comes out and we all just vibe and, share together. And I was just thinking if you can just go out there and play, if they could just do the drum circle impromptu, or you need to have, it can happen on First Fridays, otherwise you're disturbing the peace. I don't know. Anyway, so Queen goes up there under the expectation that she is going to get to play her drum. So she brings her drum. We get up there. There's so many stories to tell, and I'm just going to tell this one right now. So we get up there, and we're sitting there, just standing around, peeping the scene, and Queen's like, well, do you want to be a vendor? Because it was $35 to be a vendor. And my energy, I'm just like, no, I don't want to be a vendor. But if you want to be a vendor, I didn't say that because I know if I say that, Queen's going to say I put some energy out there, which I did. But still, I was like, whatever you want to do. If you want to be a vendor, we could be a vendor. Queen goes and she's like, okay, we're going to set up. I was like, all right. And so we set up, and our table is at the end of all the vendors because Queen was going to get there at 12:30, but stuff happened which delayed her, and we really didn't get up there till 5 o'clock. So vendors were supposed to be there at 12:30. We didn't get there till 5 o'clock. So we got the worst possible position to be in, which was the best possible position to be in. I'm going to keep it all the way G. It was a beautiful, beautiful awakening experience. We are sitting next to the wall, all the way in the back next to the stage. And we're back there and we're chilling. And the next thing I know, these little boys start kicking a ball against the wall. And I'm like, man, they gonna hit our table. And so it was that energy, like, these kids got everywhere to play and they gonna come play. What? No, nothing until the truth comes out. Shut my door. Stop. No. Shut my door. And so, but I'm also learning Queen's son, I receive as my nephew, is an angel. And he has been watching my soul, but because he's only 4 years old, he doesn't understand what he's seeing. So he looks at me like with his head cocked to the side because he's just like, you ain't looking right. You ain't acting right. And he's been getting on my nerves, and I've already told Queen this. And I had to figure out why this kid was getting on my freaking nerves. What I received yesterday and what broke me open was he was sent into my life to help me do the last of the inner child work that I needed to do in order to work with children. And so he helped me wake that up, and I'll leave that at that. Anyway, so we're sitting at this table, and I'm watching her son just run around, and he is just pure love. This kid is pure love. And so I was like, how can you resent pure love, Lonnie? Get your life together. And it's not that I resent the pure love. It's the manifestation of it, which roots back to the parent. It's not this child's fault. So now I must work with Queen on how she's raising him so that she can raise him in the energy that he deserves to be raised in. He's pure love with boundaries. He doesn't have any boundaries right now. And it's great to raise your child with not the restricted boundaries that we're used to, but your child must have boundaries. Anyway, so these kids are kicking this ball, and they're playing, and I see, they keep getting in each other's face, and I don't see three little black boys. I see 3 black men who are going to run into conflict in life as adults and don't know how to resolve it because they're 3 little black boys who don't know how to resolve it. So I was like, hey, if one of y'all kick one of them balls into my table, I'm fighting all 3 of y'all. And if you were on my live last night, you heard this, but it was really, really loud. That's why Spirit said I need to retell this story where people can actually hear me. If one of y'all kick that ball into my table, I'm fighting all 3 of y'all.
Yes.
Hold on. They laugh, and that built rapport. They laugh, and that built rapport with them. And so they know that if they do hit my table, it will be okay. So that takes the pressure off of them playing and trying to control their environment, but it also put them on the field of awareness. Like, I know y'all kicking that ball next to my table, and the way y'all kicking that ball, y'all gonna hit my table. And I could have been the mean adult that I typically am, but I was in my element, and so I was playing with the kids playfully, but letting them know, we could correct kids lovingly. And so I was paying attention to how these kids were playing. And essentially, even though they were trying to play together, they were playing a game of keep away. Which means when I get the ball, I'm going to throw it hard enough so it bounces back to me. When I kick the ball, I'm going to kick it so it comes back to me. And so when the other kid finally does get the ball, they're going to play their own game of keep away because they want to experience the ball too. But there's other two kids who have a previous relationship, and this kid is the outsider, but he's the owner of the ball. You know, these kids are playing with each other, but the owner of the ball doesn't know how to play with them, so he keeps taking the ball from them. Or he's trying to say, I told you, I told you. And so they're getting in each other's face. And ultimately, the owner of the ball, and I'm fast forwarding through this. You'll have to read the book in order to, get the full detail. But, the little boy's sitting on the wall, and I'm like, yo, y'all come here. What's going on? So these little boys start talking to me, and I was like, hold on, we can't talk about this if the little homie's not over here. So all three of y'all got to be here so we could resolve this issue. So little homie comes over and, old boy finishes his side of the story. And the other boy wants to, and that's not what happened. I was like, that is what happened. That's their perception. So we got to own it. But tell me your part without telling me that their part isn't valid. So, he has a full-on breakdown, like starts crying and everything. I was like, would you like me to hold your hand so I can give you some positive energy so you could push through this? He's like, yes. Good job that he's in touch enough with himself emotionally that he knows that he needs some additional support. So I hold his hand. These are like 7, 8, 9-year-olds. And so then I'm looking at the other little boys, and other little boys, leaning over, whispering about the other boy. And I'm like, we don't do that. That's not friendship behavior. I was like, if you want to play with this young man and you see him struggling, do you think leaning over right in his face and talking about him is the way that's going to make him feel better? I was like, if you were struggling through what you're struggling through, do you want people to sit and whisper about your struggles, or do you want them to sit there and make space for you? And he was like, and I'm using my current language, but he was like, I want them to make space with me. And I was like, okay, so make space for him. You see him struggling, so don't sit here and whisper about him. Look, if you want to talk about somebody, you shouldn't. But if you do choose to talk about somebody, don't do it in their face. And so I was teaching them lessons, and I made them aware that I was teaching them lessons, right? Don't do it in their face. And they're like, okay. They all three had coachable, teachable spirits, beautiful young men. And so I'm talking to them. He finally, gets to a space where he can speak, and he's like, I'm just trying to play, but they don't want to play with me. And I was like, you want to play your way, and they don't want to play your way. And so since they don't want to play your way, you keep taking the ball from them. And that's not how you play. You don't play together that way. And so then the other young man, I was like, he's trying to demonstrate for you, a little bossy, but he's trying to demonstrate for you guys how to play, but you guys want to play your way. And you two, I can tell you guys have a friendship. I was like, to the young man, I was like, do you have any friends? Do you have anybody you play with, or do you play by yourself? He was like, I mostly play by myself. I was like, you two, do you have friends? Do you play together? Do you play with other people? They were like, yeah, well, I have siblings and I play with other people. I was like, okay, so you two have actual practical experience playing with each other. He has theory experience playing with each other, with people. And every time he tries to execute his theory, because his theory is so one-sided, I'm only playing with you if you play my way, he doesn't know how to play with others. And so I'm going to put my charger on. My charger looks like it's on its way out the door. You better give me some more life. We ain't got time for this stuff. Anyway, so he's playing. And so I was like, okay, now that we all have this information, y'all need to adapt a little bit of how he plays. And they need to adapt a little bit about how you need to adapt a little bit of how they play, and let's learn how to play together. Now, this is a theory. This is the stuff that I've been working out in my house these past months, and now I'm out in the world, and I can actually, go to schools and talk about this. I'm actually going to talk to my friend about going to her school and teaching this. But anyway, I can go to school and talk about these things. Ooh, I need to talk to her about her connections with going into school and teaching this. Anyway, yeah. Boom. Anyway, they go and play, and I'm a scientist. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's watch. So I'm watching these kids play, and they're still having this conflict, and I'm like, that wasn't, I'm still missing something. And something happens to where ultimately the two boys were like, forget it, and they walked away. It was like a movie, y'all. Like, it was like, forget it. And they walked away. And then the other little boy, he's sitting on his ball over there. And I'm like, come here. And he comes over. And I'm like, oh, what also happened was when I first observed him being bossy, I came from the human space to judgmental space where I was just like, ooh, red flags. Somebody demonstrate some really bad behavior for this boy. And he doesn't know how to express himself. Because he's like getting in each other's face. He's a little guy, but he's like getting in everybody's faces. And I'm just like, yeah, that's not good, young man. He's the aggressor. But the next time I saw him, he was in a coat and he had his head covered up. So I thought it was another kid. Because I identified him not by his face, because I don't pay attention to people's faces. I identify by his clothes. That's why I don't remember people. Because I identify by other things besides your face. Ooh, that's something about me. Anyway, so I saw his clothes changed. I was looking for the other shirt, and the shirt was gone. I was like, okay, did the aggressive boy leave? So I'm talking to the boy in the coat now, and he's talking about, it's not me. They don't know how to share. And, he's talking to me. I was like, well, he seems like he understands what the hell is going on. So now I like this kid, not knowing it's the kid that I'm just like, this motherfucker right here. So that bumped up against my bias of just because you see someone, first impression, right? Just because you see someone displaying a particular behavior without all of the understanding, and all of the understanding is truly their whole life to understand why they're reacting the way they're reacting in this moment. But until we have full understanding, we can't make any judgments. Because this little boy, when I first saw him, was getting in everybody's face because his dad later told me he's raising a warrior. Yes, his dad was right there about to get on me. And then his mama showed up. This got really freaking real yesterday. And it's all on camera. It's on live. But it was really, really loud. Anyway, so he's sitting down next to me. So I got confronted with my biases, because the same little kid that I'm loving on and holding his hand and giving him positive energy is the same little kid who was getting in everybody's face, but I didn't know it was the same little kid. It doesn't matter what behaviors you see a child specifically, but you see a child, everybody, but you see a child is what I'm talking about, because they need more compassion than we give them. Starting with our own, starting with all of them. Just because I thought it was a different child, he got different energy from me, but the energy just should have been exploratory energy. Let me see what's going on so I can help this situation. There is some sort of misunderstanding that's happening, a miscommunication that's happening. How can I, with the higher conscious of field awareness, and understand with more than what these children understand? And don't think that knowing more is an age. It's a field of awareness and consciousness. So in my field of awareness and consciousness, if I know more, then thank you, please leave. If I know more, then I can help this situation. But I must first assess this situation and find out everybody's side, what's going on, some backgrounds, because that's going to help me. Watching and observing, we are scientists. We are really, when we react to things without all the information, we are cutting ourselves off from our divinity, because our divinity is scientific exploration, soaking up game, using all the things that we've soaked up, mixing it in a little beaker, pouring it and saying to see if it made the magic we're trying to create. That is who we are. That is our divinity. But we just like to react to stuff. And then other people react to stuff. These kids are both reacting to each other because they think that you're not playing the way I want you to play, and you're not playing the way that I want you to play, where you're not going to punk me, and I ain't no punk. And that's how good guys get got, because you're not a punk. But you're a good guy, and you got caught in a volatile situation. You got caught up in a situation who only knows how to handle things one way. I'm not going to hold up any signals because I don't want my live to get cut. But you end up tussling with someone who knows how to handle something one way when you're just trying to stand your ground. So understand that if we teach our children conflict resolution skills now, if we teach our children how to see each other in their totality now, we don't have to worry about our children running into as many people out there on the BS. Yes, there's going to be a percentage of people who are on that BS, but we're not running into them all the time. Do you understand? If I speed up and get in front of somebody, I hope that I left enough space between us to where they don't feel like I cut them off and now I'm in a volatile situation. everybody shouldn't be a murderer. Bobby Schmurder. Everybody shouldn't be Bobby Schmurder right there on the cusp of taking somebody out. Does everybody have the capability? Yes. Should we all be right there on the cusp where we're about to take somebody out? No. That is a part of the extinction plan. We're taking each other out left and right. In every way. So anyway, little boy comes and sit next to me. And I'm like, why are you over there sitting on the ball? He's like, because I didn't have nowhere to sit. I was like, why do you come sit next to me? You see there's this empty chair right here. He was like, because I don't know you like that. I was like, you know me enough to let me hold your hand, but you don't know me enough to come sit next to me? I was like, do you see how backwards that is? Do you guys understand that you know a woman or you know a man or a person so well that you will enter their body in fornication and without protecting yourself? You know them well enough to do that, but you don't know them well enough to hold their hand while you walk down the street. Before you ever enter someone's body or you allow them to enter your body, are they willing to hold your hand? Are they willing to do something that is way more personal or something that's way more less personal? Sorry, because I'm part of the indoctrination too. They're willing to do something like allow you to enter their body, which is extremely, like, we are connecting and exchanging energy. Like, that is the most powerful manifestation, because we're not only coming together physically in a room, but we are joining our physical bodies together. The manifestation power in intercourse is through this earth, through the roof, whatever. But we'll do that before we will hold somebody's hand. So we have to understand the indoctrination there. We put more value in this, which is non-threatening, than we put in this, which can change our entire lives for the good or the bad. Anyway, stop playing. So anyway, I'm talking to this young man, and I was like, you realize you not wanting to sit next to me because that's too personal, but you let me hold your hand and exchange energy with you. That's way more personal. So pay attention to that, young man. He's like, okay. And he's explaining to me what's going on, and I'm explaining to him, playing with others and yada, yada. And I don't know, but Dad sniffed it out because we were tucked over in the corner. I guess he was like, where's my son? And I know where he was playing last. And he walked over there and he saw his son slumped in the chair crying. I was like, I know. He's like, oh, what the fuck is this woman doing with my kid? And so immediately my energy said, oh, crap, here's a parent. Just apologize. You saw kids having conflict and you were trying to help, reduce the conflict. My bad. That's what I immediately thought. And Spirit said, stand your ground. I said, no, this big black man, and I'm talking to his son. This woman's talking to his son. Man, no, I'm good. And Spirit said, stand your ground. And I said, okay, I'm going to stand my ground. And so I stood my ground, and he was like, now what's going on? And I was like, he was playing with these young men, and, I saw them beginning to have conflict. And so I was explaining to them how to work cooperatively and how to share with each other and to hold space for each other and to have compassion for each other and all these different things, topically explaining to him, but trying to have the authority of, so he can see that I'm actually helping your son. I'm speaking to your son's soul. I'm changing your son's life for the better. I'm not trying to hurt your kid. And he picks up enough of it where he's like, okay, I see you're trying to help my kid and I see what you're trying to teach my kid, but what you're trying to teach my kid, I feel is in direct conflict with what I'm teaching my kid. So he was like, he kneels down. He was like, okay. And he kneels down to his son. And he says, okay, now I want to hear it from you. And so his son immediately starts telling him what happened from his perspective, which, we know most children know how to manipulate us by painting the picture as if they were the victim. And so he's painting the picture for his father, but his father is not really buying into, you're the victim type things, but he's listening for the key points for him to reinforce his perspective. And so he was like, I told you when you play with other people, if you don't want to play with other people, it's your ball. You take your ball and you go play by yourself. And of course, I'm in my humanity. So I'm like, yeah, don't tell your son to separate himself. That's not right. You're telling your son to be selfish. Don't teach your son to be selfish. But I had to check myself, and I was just like, sometimes you do be selfish. Those are boundaries, right? If you're not going to treat me the way that I want to be treated, I am going to take my ball and I'm not going to play with you anymore. These are my boundaries. So he is teaching his son to have boundaries, which is correct. Teaching your child to be selfish is not. And so I was like, okay, he's teaching his son to have boundaries, and I respect that, and then after he talks to his son, he looks at me and he was like, look, in summary, he was like, I'm raising a warrior. I'm raising a king. I'm raising a man to be a man, to show up for his family, to show up for his wife, to stand on his stuff. I was like, can I ask you a question? Because he kept telling him, take emotion out of it. I was like, can I ask you a question? I was like, do you cry in front of him, or does he see anyone cry? He was like, yeah, I cry in front of him. And I let him know it's okay to cry, but you don't cry in front of everybody else. You suck that up and you take it home and you cry in the bathroom if you need to cry. So it's okay to cry, but stop showing weakness in front of people. You are a warrior. Show your strength. Don't let them see no weakness. I was like, I respect that. And I respect that you're in touch with your emotions. So, I'm entering to his energy field. He's deciding if he's going to allow me to enter into his energy field. He came in to assess, why is this person in my child's energy field? And so he assessed that it's okay. And I showed him, I was just like, I was teaching him compassion. And then one of the little boys came back while the dad was still standing there. I was like, did you want to try again? Which then prompted the dad to say, yeah, did you guys want to try to play again? And so now the dad is in a teacher position where he's telling the little boys, okay, you guys need to learn how to play together. You need to establish the rules before you play. He was like, did you guys establish the rules before you play? And they were like, no. And he was like, well, there it is. And I was like, there it is. They never established the rules of the game. They just started playing together because they saw each other and somebody had a ball and there was somebody, boy wanted somebody to play with. That's why he had the ball. And the other boys wanted to play with somebody. And so that's how they started playing. So they established their rules, and dad was like, well, I got to go finish cooking because they have the Jamaican restaurant. I wish I got the name of the Jamaican restaurant so I could plug them, but it'll happen if I'm supposed to plug them. So, he's like, I got to go back to cooking. I was like, sir, I'm the village. It takes a village. I'm the village. I'm the right kind of people. Your son is safe with me. He's like, I see that. And so he goes back to work and he literally leaves his son to me because he knows that his child is in good hands. And so the boys are still playing. And at this point, I told him I'm collecting teeth. I was like, every time one of these balls hit my table, I'm taking a tooth. All them kids walked up out of there toothless last night because that ball kept hitting our table. But that was a way for me to build rapport. When you are getting to know people, you have to have a common space with them before they open up to you, right? So I'm joking with the kids, and while I'm sitting with the kid, I was just like, do you want me to play with you? I'll play with you. And he's like, yeah. So he goes and the kids and they all start playing together. I was like, well, since they're playing together, I'm gonna download a message and talk about this situation. And the other little kids, they bump up against each other again, and now the little boy's by himself, and he's like, are you going to play with me? And I was like, energetically, I said I would, so get up and play with him. So now I'm playing soccer with him, but the way that I'm playing with him is totally different than how he's playing. And while he's playing, he was like, I play on a team. And I was like, oh, boom, there it is. This little boy has a soccer ball because he's a soccer player. And when he plays with other kids, he's playing with other kids as if he's playing on a team. Now, these other kids have played soccer, but they've either played it at school or they've played it on the streets. Now, we understand, those of us who have observed professional sports or have played professional sports in any capacity, we understand that the way that they, and the rules and the way that they speak on the streets is not how they rules and play in the professional arena. And so this little boy is playing team sports. Hey, over here, I'm open, pass the ball. And they pass the ball because it's a strategy. But when you're playing with your friends, you're passing the ball because you want everybody to experience the fun. So this little boy who's used to playing by himself is playing in strategy, and these other two little boys who are used to playing with other people are playing to play together. But because they have now entered into the space of someone who plays strategy, now these two little boys have to join together, which it seems like they're teaming up against this one little boy. But the truth is, they're being strategic too. We're going to play together against him because he's playing against us. You understand? So they just matched his energy. So when I got up to play with this little boy at the time, I had no idea why I was getting up to play with this boy except for doing an energetic match. I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. But as I'm playing with him, I don't care if I kick the ball. I don't care if I catch the ball. Half the time I was stopping the balls with my hand because, I'm clumsy. My ass might fall down and, who knows when I'm getting back up. So I don't care. I have come into a space in my life where I don't have to be first. I yield to everybody. I'm working on it in driving, but I yield to everybody. I don't have to be first. And so if you go through life where you don't have to be first, pay attention to how often you're allowed to be first. I'm literally going back and forth with people. Oh, no, you can go first. No, you can go first. Okay. I like going first, but I don't have to be first. It's a different energy. Everybody's fighting to be first. That's why they're tearing each other down on Black Fridays and trampling people and rushing the stage and people are being injured and worse at these concerts because everybody wants to be first. But if everybody just was like, I could be first, I could be second, I could be last, it doesn't matter. Then everybody is like, well, I could be first, I could be second, I could be last. Hey, let's go together. We can all experience this. And after I've experienced a little bit of being front row, I'll step back and somebody else can experience a little bit of being front row. And then they'll step back and so we all collectively can have this experience. We all paid for VIP. Then we all can take turns experiencing it because I got to experience. It's about the experience. Some people are like, I must hog all 90 minutes of the experience of being in front row. I have to stop everybody else from experiencing this. But if we thought of an experiences of, okay, let me go and experience. This is amazing. Let me have the energy exchange that I'm supposed to have here. Okay, I've had it. Now let me allow someone else to have it. Do you understand? We all can have the experiences we deserve. Instead of fighting for a crumb, we create scarcity. But anyway, when I'm kicking the ball with this kid, I'm kicking it so that it bounces to him. I'm not chasing after it real fast so I can get it first. I kick it, and if it goes, I'm like, oh, shoot, you better go get that, because I ain't running. So I start kicking the ball and we start sharing, kicking it so the other person gets it. When I observed these kids playing, they were kicking the ball and throwing the ball so it came back to them. So they were essentially playing a game of keep away together. But now we're playing, I'm kicking the ball so that you get the ball. You're kicking the ball so I get the ball. This boy who plays on a sports team is actually kicking the ball behind him. I was like, yo. I wasn't ready for the behind kick. So now I'm watching him for the behind kick because he got the foot skills. So he get to play in his element, and now he's having a good time. It's not a high pressure, competitive space. There's a space to be competitive, but every aspects of life, we don't have to be in competition. And so, he's competing and, no, he's no longer competing. He's having fun. So I was like, okay, boom, boom. I want you to enter my classroom. I was like, I want you to see how we're playing. I said, I want you to remember this conversation that we're having for the rest of your life. He's like, okay. I was like, I want you to know my name is Lonnie, and I am teaching you how to share. And if you remember this moment, you remember for the rest of your life how you learned how to share. Your father is correct in the respect that if you do not want to play with anyone else, you take your things and you leave. Your father is correct. But your father is failing to teach you the other side. So God has sent me to teach you the other side, which is if you do want to play with other people, you must learn how to play with them. You must learn how to share. And so I am teaching you how to share. Your dad is teaching you how to have boundaries. I do not want to play with anybody. You do take your ball and go. But if you want to play with someone, you don't get to take your ball because they're not playing your way. Two different things. But you just are taking your ball, taking your ball, taking your ball. Meanwhile, you're sitting in the corner sad because you really want to play. You just don't know how. So I'm going to teach you how to play. And in teaching you how to play, I'm going to teach you how to work collaboratively with everybody. So when you are married, when you have children, when you are at work, when you are building your business, when you're doing anything in life, apply what I am teaching you right now, because I'm speaking to your future self. And he was like, okay, I'm talking to a 7-year-old, y'all. Cut it out. Cut it out. And he's like, okay. And so I was like, do you understand how when we were kicking the ball, I was kicking the ball so you can get it? He was like, yeah. I was like, do you understand when you were playing with those boys, you each were kicking the ball so that you got the ball back? He was like, yes. I was like, do you see the difference between when you're playing keep away from other kids and no one's sharing even though you're playing together? We do that in our families. No one's working together, but we're all stuck together, being selfish. But if we started working cooperatively, which is what we do in this home, we're working on it. I'm developing it, But if we all work cooperatively and look out for each other, we did it strong for 1 month and then it fell off. But anyway, you'll be a lot more successful because this is our 18-year classroom. We got to learn and we got to teach each other in this simulation, in this petri dish, this incubator that we're in. We can grow in this artificial environment for 18 years, which is our home. And then we can go out of this artificial environment if we choose. I choose to keep all of my family together. That is my ultimate choice, to own land, and we grow our wealth together. We work cooperatively. If you're short, I'm up. If you're up, I'm down. Where you're weak, I'm strong. We all incarnated to each other for a reason. So let's use each other's gifts and talents to elevate all of us. And that goes outside of our home, but we have to learn how to first work cooperatively within our home in order to now go into the world and work cooperatively. And so I'm talking to this little boy and I'm just teaching him so many things. I'm speaking into his soul. And he's receptive. Those of you who watched my Jamaican trip and you saw where I was talking to Byron, you will see the way that Byron was looking at me was the way this little boy was looking at me. I was talking to his soul. And so after I had the conversation with him and I realized that divinity brought me to this space at this time, set up my table here so these kids could keep kicking the ball into my table so I could then say to them, if you keep kicking my table, I'm fighting all 3 of you at the same time, which is ridiculous, right? So everybody laughs, but it gives us that rapport. So now these kids are kicking the ball, and now when I see them having conflict, I don't just sit there and watch it. I intervene and I assess it. I don't do the typical, I'm the grown black woman and I'm, play nice. No, I have to teach you how to play nice. But in order to teach this particular situation how to play nice, I have to watch you play. And so I'm watching these kids play and I'm assessing how they're playing. And I did a fix and it wasn't right. So I had to watch it some more. And then I realized, and it kicked in, when I started playing with him, Spirit said, kick it so he can get the ball. And when I started kicking it so he could get the ball, I realized they were playing keep away. And I was like, that's why you can't play with others. I was like, from now on, whenever somebody plays with you, because his dad made the point that they own a family restaurant and kids come in all the time and he plays with them. So it's not true that he doesn't have any friends and he doesn't have anyone to play with. I was thinking in my head, you're being defensive and that's fine. But your son himself said he doesn't have anyone to play with. So it really doesn't matter what you think, Dad. Your son feels lonely. He communicated that to me. This is what I'm thinking. But I'm not going to argue with this man who knows his son. I'm just going to continue to talk to the boy, and I'm not invalidating what his dad said. Every step of the way I said, your dad is correct, but here's the other side. And so it was like, Spirit was like, you over here talking to other people's kids? Yeah, because it takes a village. And when the dad left his son with me, literally left his son with me, he knew that I was a part of his village. So no matter what I said to his son, and you'll understand what I said to his son when I continue this story, was of value. I raised a star last night. And so anyway, I'm teaching him so much so the boys came back again. They keep trying, and the boys come back again, and the boys are like, what are you doing? And then the boy I'm talking to, he's like, oh, nothing. She's just teaching me something. It was so cute because it's just like, oh, she's just talking to me. No, oh, she's just teaching me. He knew what was up. Oh, nothing. She's just teaching me a lesson. Because by this time, this was like the third or fourth or fifth lesson. Please leave. It was like the third or fifth lesson. Sure. The third, but did you take your shower? But you also got to wait. I'm not coming. I'll turn the water on for you. And no. Sachi's not going to be there. So no, you can't come today. Sachi's not going to be there. So you'll be by yourself. Sachi won't be there. So you're going to stay home. He went to his grandma's house.
Mom, when are you leaving for the wellness center?
I don't know. Y'all leave me alone. When I finish this, I'm leaving for the wellness center. So please leave me alone so I can finish. And so anyway. Yeah, please shut the door. Anyway, so, multiple lessons while these kids are playing. I can't go over all of them, but I kept stopping him, and I was just like, okay. Because everybody, give me an example. Give me an example. When someone's like, this is behavior you exhibit, give me an example. You want an example so that you can tell them they're wrong. You need an example so that you're like, okay, this is a real life experience where I'm doing the behavior that someone is reflecting back to me. If everybody is our mirror, they're reflecting it back to me. And so now I know what I'm doing, so now I can heal through it. And so as he was doing stuff while we were playing, and as the other little boys were doing stuff as we were playing, I was like, okay, this is an example of, so let's heal from this. So little boy, he was soaking up game, and he was putting into application the things that I was teaching him in the moment, and it was so beautiful. But there's this other little boy, and I hypnotized him. It was crazy. I didn't do it on purpose. They were doing something. I was teaching him about cooperation. And I pulled the boys aside, and I was like, give me the ball. And I was holding the ball. And I was like, did you know that he's on a professional team? And he's like, not a professional team. I was just like, you play a sport. I don't know the language, so it's professional, dang it. And I was like, do you play soccer? And the other little boy was like, yeah, I played on teams at school. I was like, okay, boom. And I look at the other little boy. I was like, do you play on a team? He was like, I play on a basketball team. I was like, okay, boom. Here's how you guys are miscommunicating. He plays soccer because I'm still watching him, right? And I see when he's playing, he's like, pass the ball to me, over here. And the other little boy is like, I'm not going to pass it to you because you're telling me to pass you the ball. So he's being defensive, even though the whole premise of the game is to pass the ball. Well, we understand that because this boy comes from a team perspective, a formal team perspective, where that's how you communicate. Pass me the ball, I'm open. And so that's what he's doing. And the other boys are looking at him like, I'm not passing you the ball. Why are you trying to be a ball hog? And the guy's like, I'm not trying to be a ball hog. That's just how I play soccer. So I'm explaining this to these little boys. This little boy comes from a professional team atmosphere. So when he's saying, pass me the ball, I'm open, he's trying, that's how he shares. You have played at school. So at school, everybody has to share simply because everybody has to get participation points. You have played on a basketball team, so you saying pass the ball is different than how soccer says pass me the ball. So he was like, yeah, I just say pass. And so I was like, while you've been playing soccer right now, have you just been saying pass? He was like, yeah. And I was like, and you have been saying pass me the ball the way that you say pass me the ball in your sport. And you have been saying pass me the ball the way that you say pass me the ball. But all of you guys are saying pass me the ball. young man, you got to check your energy. So we talked about him checking his energy and all those different things. I was like, you're able to communicate the things that you want to communicate, but you have to check your energy. I need to do a course where I am teaching children. This is how I teach children. I don't teach ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. I teach this. I need to talk to my friend who has a school because I need to come in. I need to get a salary to teach this. Anyway, so, yeah, I need to figure this out. Anyway, so I got it. Leave it alone. Anyway, okay. I'm doing it. Thank you for connecting the pieces. 2024 is about to be amazing on the financial scale. 2023 has been amazing on the spiritual evolutionary scale. Watch me since December to today. I don't even look the same. With very little effort. No, he won't. Please shut my door. And so, yeah. "2024 is about to be amazing financially. And we're all being elevated at the same time. So that's why when you're sitting here and you're like, man, I see her winning. If you're doing the work, you're going to be winning too, because we rise together. It doesn't just happen for one of us. It happens for all of us who are ready. So if you are not prepared, I want to be prepared. If you are not prepared, when it opens up, and it's opening up right now, you're not going to be ready. So make sure you're doing the work. And if you're trying to do the work, because the portal is about to open up. The first portal opened up during last December. So maybe portals open up. It's a new year, New Year's resolutions. So a portal opens up every December. Because the Black Girl Follow Train happened for me last December. That was a portal that I walked through. And as I walked through that portal, all of this started happening. Before the Black Girl Follow Train, I had 9 followers who were all friends and family and trolls. Now I have 12,000 followers and growing, 14,000 followers and growing across all platforms, because I walked through a portal during the Black Girl Follow Train. And y'all, some of y'all walked through that portal with me, and you found me. And I found you. You grew me. I grew you. And so now it's December again, and I'm literally sitting on the street corner where, my God, the same people hypnotized me. Last December, there's these people on First Friday who stand on the corner, and as you're walking down, they hypnotize people. And I'm like, okay, why not? I cannot remember what this woman said to me. Hopefully I came home and wrote it down, but she hypnotized me on a street corner. This is before I knew about energy, which is, I guess, is a good thing, because I allowed her to do it, because something inside of that, whatever she hypnotized over me, whatever she spoke over me, opened something up. And I knew it, but I thought it opened something up in relation to art. No, it opened up this. Because I was on that street corner, because I was going to look at art galleries. And I was either walking to the art gallery or away from the art gallery, and she was like, can I da-da-da-da-da? And I was like, sure. And I remember she spoke over me in the respect that she told me I was going to be successful and overcome the fears that I've had in my life and all these different things. And I felt like she did something. I was like, oh, she did something to me. Now, I would know immediately if she did something to me or she was doing something to me. And I would probably not even allow it to happen now, because I'm aware that energy is real. But at that time, I just was curious. So I allowed her to do it. But I walked through a portal then. And all this stuff started happening. And last night, I was on the exact same corner, just opposite side of the street. And I walked through the portal again. And so I have to say that to know that I had such an amazing ascension last night, to where I woke up again to my re-emergence. I don't want to say new, because like, okay, you're trying something new. I guess you got to know me to know me. But I walked through and I woke up and emerged as an angel. I literally had an ascension on camera. My sister captured it on her live where I ascended, and she told me I was waking up to my light language. I was just like, yeah, I know, because I felt the energy pulsing through my palms. Like I couldn't stop moving my palms because the energy was flowing so heavy. I had to ground myself and touch the ground and push the energy into the earth that it was pulsing so much in me. Anyway, so these little boys, I'm talking to them about cooperation, and I start spinning this soccer ball in my hand. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just spinning the damn soccer ball. But then Spirit starts speaking through me, and it's like, you're paying attention to me now, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you're paying attention to me because I'm spinning this ball. And he's like, yeah. I was like, I'm talking to your future self. I'm not talking to you. You don't even have to remember this conversation because it's funny. I told the other little boy he needs to remember me. The other little boy, I was like, you don't even have to remember this conversation because I'm talking to your future self. I was like, you need to understand that cooperation is XYZ. And I told him what cooperation is. And I was like, you're going to have to cooperate like this in your relationships. And he looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, yes, I'm talking to your future self. I'm not talking to your 8-year-old self. I was like, your relationships, your friendships, as you raise your children, all of these different things, you must know how to cooperate. And you're learning how to cooperate here on this street corner tonight. So remember this moment. You don't have to remember my words, but remember this moment. And I said, okay. And then I did my whole, okay, let's play soccer. And my other little buddy laughed. But this little boy's eyes were wide as saucers. And the way that he walked away from me, he never stopped looking at me, and he kind of inched away from me. And then he like walked off like aimlessly, like, oh my God, I traumatized this child. He's probably like, what the hell happened? But I just hypnotized him, so he was coming out of trance, so I get it. And so, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I wasn't manipulating anything. I was just delivering a message, and I knew that this particular child would not listen to me unless I got the extreme attention. I had to have him hyper focus on something. The other one, because his father is raising a warrior, the other one knew that I need to listen to what this person is telling me. So I didn't have to do anything except for engage in him and earn his trust. Everyone is different. How you navigate someone is different. So this one, I had to earn his trust in order for him to listen to me. The other one, I had to, get his undivided attention. And so I was able to speak to his future self. So I changed the trajectory of 3 little boys last night, 4 little boys, because I fell back in love with my friend's son because he taught me to see him. And he used to teach me pure, untainted love. And so I'm sitting there talking to Queen, and all of a sudden Queen's like, my son's on the stage. Oh, even before that, we're sitting there because we're at the drum circle, and Queen's under the impression that at some point the drum circle's gonna start. And I'm sitting there spitting on live to her, downloading a message to her. And she's like, girl, you need to get on the microphone. I was like, it's not an open mic. And she was like, it is an open mic. I was like, it's not an open mic. And she's like, it is. And I was like, okay, well, Queen said it's an open mic. So I was like, I ain't got nothing to say to these people, and I can't retell this story because I can't retell a story and expect that everyone who is in earshot, who are a part of the story, to see that I'm not talking stuff, because our energy is to automatically think someone's attacking us. So how do I tell this story in a way, because this is why you want me to get on the mic, because I'm telling you how I'm healing these children, and I just woke up to my divinity that I'm an angel. How do I retell this story without, upsetting people? So what the hell am I going to talk about? But I get up and I go walk over there, and I'm like, is this an open mic? And he's like, nah, I'm sorry, it's not. And I was like, okay. And so I go sit down with Queen, and I was like, it's unfortunate that he doesn't know who he's talking to, because if he let me on his mic, I could blow up his event. And Queen was like, well, let me go talk to him. And so she gets up and goes and talks to him. And when she comes back, she doesn't say anything about me being able to get on the microphone. So I'm assuming he told her this isn't an open mic. And so now fast forward to they're doing a set change, and my friend Queen, or my sister Queen, is like, my son is on the stage. And I'm like, what? And so I see her son on the stage, and, you know, I'm high off of the moment. So I'm like, yeah, do your thing, do your thing. And he's holding a guitar, and he has a guitar at the wellness center. And so I'm like, play your guitar. And I was like, why am I sitting over here yelling at this child? So I get up and I go walk, and I'm like encouraging him. I'm like, play your guitar. And so the other guy, the other guy puts the microphone in front of him, and, you know, he says his little thing, and I'm like, yeah, play your guitar. And he was like, I don't know how to play a guitar. I was like, you have a guitar at the wellness center. You know how to play it. You were fighting to play it the other night at our event, at our open mic. And he doesn't, and I was like, okay, sing a song. He's like, okay, I'm going to sing a song. And he was like, I don't know what to sing. And I was like, sing your ABCs. And he's like, A, B, C, D. And he started singing his ABCs. And so the crowd is getting pumped. Yo, the crowd is like, yeah. And he's like, A, B, C, D. And I'm like, A. You know, so the crowd is getting hyped with little homie doing his ABCs. And then after he does his ABCs, the guy hands the mic to me. It's not an open mic. The guy hands the mic to me. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm the MC. I was like, and that's how you celebrate a child. That's how you show up for a kid who shows up for himself. And everybody's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then this other little kid, I hand the mic to him because I told Queen earlier, record him. He's going to be a star. He wants to be a star. He doesn't know how to be a star. And Spirit told me I need to do child development classes. Helping children believe in themselves classes. So anyway, so this little kid, you know, he gets the microphone and he's like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, what's your name? And he says his name. How old are you? And he tells me his name. And so I start talking to him. So it turns into a kid say the darndest things, you know. So I'm talking him into having a conversation and gaining the confidence to be up on the stage. And so, you know, I'm talking to him, and he's like doing his thing. And then when he's finished, I take the microphone back, and I'm like, yeah, and nobody claps for him. And I was like, that's exactly how you don't show up for a child. Y'all want to know what's wrong with our kids right now? It's because y'all adults are not clapping for this child who had the courage to get on this stage and show up for himself. And all you got to do is clap. And can none of y'all clap for him? And then I see somebody clapping in the back. I'm like, thank you for showing up for this kid. The rest of you, shame on you. Who's next? And, you know, I give the mic back to the guy, and then little buddy that has the soccer ball, he's like, I want to sing something. And so the guy gives him the microphone because the energy's flowing now. And so he's like, yeah, well, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, get up on the stage. If you're going to show us your talent, get up on the stage. And Spirit just told me that's why when I told people at the open mic, if you want to perform from your seat because you're more comfortable, no, if you want to be seen, get up on the stage. So he got up on the stage, and little homie was like, well, I've never performed on a stage before, but I'm going to sing Bruno Mars' Smoking Out the Window, or whatever the song is called. And when I tell you, the little boy went from, well, I've never been on stage before, to it was amazing. He was singing that song, and we was gassing him up, and I was gassing him up, and I was like, yeah, you know. And this little boy is the little boy who was crying in the corner earlier because he didn't know how to play with people. This little boy was the son of the man who came and, you know, almost was a situation. Even mama showed up, and mom was like, is everything okay? And he was like, I got it. And she respected her king, so she walked away. But I was like, damn, I got mom and dad on me. And their son is sitting in the corner crying. What am I doing? But now I got their son on the goddamn stage. What happened from your son crying in a corner playing keep away from other kids, and now he's on a stage showing the world his talent. What happened? What did I do? You'll have to come to the wellness center and enroll your kids in one of my child development classes. Anyway, so Spirit was just telling me how to form that class. I was receiving a download that was for me, not for you. Okay, I receive it. You're giving me a lot this morning, this afternoon. I've been talking since this morning. Anyway, so the kid's singing his song, and then Sachi gets back on the microphone, and they're like, we gotta go, but I deliver one last message. You could do your work on your own. You just have to take the time. You don't need me. Your teacher has already taught you how to do it. You just need to sit down and do it, okay? He's on the microphone, and I'm like, okay, let's go, Sachi, good job, So instead of crushing his spirit and just taking the mic from him, I'm like, other people need an opportunity to get on the mic too. We have to share, so teaching him how to share. Anyway, so we go up, we do that, and later on, when I had my emergent as an angel, I was actually in my circle manifesting, because that man, he came over to the table again. The father came over to the table again, and he was talking to Queen. He was like, I saw you were looking at the menu. Was there nothing that interested you, or what was the problem? And she was like, it's the truth is, she didn't have the money to buy more food. But she was just like, oh, no, it's whatever. She had food already, but it was too spicy. But so she was still hungry. So instead of forcing herself to eat the spicy food, she was going to go get some other food. But, money is moving the way the money's moving. It's going to start moving. It is moving more fluidly. But at the time, and when he walked away, I was like, he going to give us some damn food. That's what I'm thinking. I was like, I'm going to go, because I just read in this book, How to Manifest. I didn't say it to myself. I said it to her. I was like, no, I didn't. I don't know when I said it to her, but a part of manifestation is getting the buy-in of the collective. So I was like, he gonna give us some food. And I went over there and I manifested us some food. And I was like, he's going to give us some food. And so the night drew on, and I was like, well, maybe he's not going to give us some food. I was like, no, I have to have 100% unwavering knowing that this man is going to give us some food in order for me to manifest this food. He's going to give us some fucking food. It's going to be the end of the night. He sold everything he could sell, because he knows if he would have gave us some food while the food was still selling, his wife would have been like, why are you giving away food? Especially to those women over there. So he knew the way that he could safely give us food. Thank you, Spirit, for delivering this. He knew the way that he could safely give us food was at the end of the night, if there's still food, I can give it to him. So at the end of the night, Queen had these, I don't even eat spicy food, but she had these spicy ass lentil beans that had my whole nose burning, the whole back of my mouth burning. But I was so hungry, that I ate them. And Queen took my trash and threw it away. And when she threw my trash away, he saw her again. And so when Queen came back, I was like, yeah, we're on his radar. He's going to give us some of that damn food. And sure enough shit, he went over there and he was like, are you ladies hungry? Or have you eaten? Knowing full well he saw her throw away a food container. But he came over there and he was like, have you guys eaten? And Queen was like, no. Because she has eaten, but she hasn't eaten to her satisfaction. She is a queen. And so she's like, no. And he was like, would you like me to get you 2 plates? And we were both like, yes. And so we're both sitting here like this, like, because I told her I manifested this, right? Because I have to have that buy-in. And she's a super manifester too. So she's like, Ashe. And so we're both sitting there while he's walking away like, oh, shit. And we're like, yo, I manifested that shit. She's like, I know. I was like, yo, do you know that I just figured out how to manifest? Last night, her car wouldn't start. And I got out of my car and I was like, all right, y'all, we about to go start this car. And before I could even get over there to do what I thought I needed to do to start her car started. I was like, see, I don't even need to do nothing to start the car. I am the circle. I don't have to draw no circles nowhere. I am the circle. And me, you, and Brother Courtney, we are an ancient covet, whatever the hell it's called, where we've been doing this since the beginning of time. And I know this because we got together and manifested this and created this moment, because there was no drum circle. But Brother Courtney had to tell her that there's a drum circle to the capacity to where she believed that when we got there, because she doesn't ever go anywhere, but because she thought it was a drum circle and an opportunity to play her drum, a pride point of hers, that's what got her there. That's what got me there, to change these three little children's lives, these 4 little children's lives, everybody's life. I touched everybody that night. To where now someone who told me isn't an open mic hands me the mic and tells me, MC this shit. And then he turns around to me and he's like, he's standing at the table, who ends up being Brother Courtney's brother. Go do this somewhere else. You got a whole house, and I told you stop disturbing me. He goes and he's Brother Courtney's brother, and Brother Courtney's like, did you introduce yourself to them? And he's like, yeah, I talked to her, our queen. And he's like, but I said you haven't spoken to me. I'm Lonnie. He's like, yeah, thank you for what you did. I was like, yeah. I was like, thank you for allowing me to get on the mic. And he was like, anytime. And Spirit was like, point out to him that he told you anytime. And I was like, remember, you told me that I can come and get on the mic anytime. Because I'm going to come and get on the mic anytime. And he was like, no, I mean it, for real, anytime. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Spirit told me that you know how to get the people. I'm the talent, and you see my talent. And because you see my talent, you're going to bring the people to me. You've been waiting for an opportunity to blow some stuff up, and I'm what you're going to blow up. He's like, man, I believe it. I was like, I am. And I touched his heart. I was like, I can make you everything that you've ever dreamed of being, but you have to partner with me and make me everything that I've ever dreamt of being. And so I found my manager, even though he's not my manager at present, but I found the fuel for the vehicle, because the message that I downloaded was, what's more important, the vehicle that's not moving because it doesn't have any fuel, or the fuel that shows up and now the vehicle can move? The vehicle needed the fuel needed the vehicle. You're both equally important. Who gets more money? Who gets more credit? 50-50, because the fuel was just fuel. The vehicle was stuck. The fuel needed the vehicle needed the fuel. He needs me and I need him. Let's grow and build each other. I was like, I don't do shady deals because I'm not that hungry. I'm fine with doing it the way that I'm doing it. But if you want to make some legit deals that look out for you and look out for me, look out for both of us equally, let's do this shit. Because I know you know how to get the people out, because you got all these people out. So you can get all these people out to my events. My events are dope. I just don't know how to get the people out. He was like, say less, send me a message. So I sent him a message last night. And we're going to connect and collaborate. And we're about to blow the city of Phoenix scene up. But I had to be there. I had to be there to speak life into those children. I had to be there to speak life into Queen. And I had to be there to speak life into Brother Courtney. I had to be life to make that connection. I had to be there to make that connection. I had to be there to make that moment where Sachi. I had to be there to make that moment where the young man was on the stage and had the crowd hype, because he always wants to be seen. I had to be there where the other young man was like, I've never been on the stage, but I had to be there for all of that. All of that had to happen. All of that had to happen because Queen saw me sitting on that corner, because Jessica sent me a card of some random person of maybe you guys can connect. So you never know what is happening. We're in these meetings and we're like, oh, that was a failure. No, it wasn't. It was a piece that was necessary in order to connect you to the next piece. So count it all joy. Period. It's all for your higher good. It's for you, not to you. It's for you. So use it. Be thankful, whatever it is. Even though you got to take a couple more steps to see what it is. Be thankful now. Don't be thankful like, oh, da-da-da. So yeah, I delivered a message for Brother Courtney. I realized, I told him I'm an angel. And then I realized that he orchestrated this whole thing. And he was like, yeah, I did. I was like, you set it up so I would be here. He was like, yeah, I was told to bring you here. I was like, that's freaking amazing. So it was just beautiful. I delivered messages and our team became very solid last night. And I realized that the three of us have greater work to do. I'm going to write this down in my journal, but I wanted to download it here so that there's an audio. Hey, how you doing, Yosef? I'm talking about last night. I wanted to download it in a way that you guys could hear me because I was on live last night, but you guys couldn't hear me because it was so loud. But I had to get this story off because last night my life was changed. And now we can do the work. Yosef, get ready. Have this conversation I told you about last night. Clear your energy, clear your space, because we are about to blow. You need to clean up your humanity. Don't forget your humanity, but clean up your humanity. All your karma that you need to clear through. Thank God that those two individuals walked into the wellness center, because that's karma you need to clear. You need to clear all this karma. I talked about this earlier. It's all about energy. If you put the energy out there, you must wrap it up. If you open a book, you must close the book. This is energy. This is balance. You must open, or you must balance the book. You must balance the book, and you must balance the energy, and I'm using the book to explain it. If you open something up, you must close it. So you are being called to clear your energetic karma in this physical realm. I came into my knowing I'm an angel. I came into my own knowing last night at that event. It was magic. I thought the book was closed 2 years ago. Not for them. So offer space for them, because there's still something that's going to help you. Energy wouldn't have brought it to you, right? Energy, if you are walking in only things that support my higher good or what I come in contact with, the fact that this has manifested 2 years later means there's still something to address, even if it's for them, and you have to be present because you were present in the beginning. So whether they still have to do the work and you just have to be physically in the room and just say, I understand, I offer space for your healing. Not, I didn't do that. Well, I closed the book 2 years ago and I said what I said 2 years ago. If you have nothing additional to offer, then you say, I understand what you're going through. I have moved away from whatever it is that you're saying, and I offer space for you. Boom. Who's going to argue with that? Well, I want you to defend yourself. I'm no longer that person, so I hold space for you. But I need you to understand that I have evolved from the person that the box that you're trying to keep me in. I don't reside in that box anymore. I'm over here. But I hold space for you because you're still in that box. And I'm going to help you. So that's why I'm going to mediate it, so that I can speak for you through your higher consciousness, so that they understand it. That's my gift of the spirit. And I can translate for them so that you understand where they're coming from. And you guys can truly release that energetic tie that you guys have. You can release yourself from each other, because last night, the world changed. All the things that we've been praying for and manifesting, and that's why being a part of this community and being an honest part of this community, a pure-hearted, that's what I mean, honest, a pure-hearted part of this community, and I'm not saying you're not. I'm just speaking to the people within my voice. Being a pure-hearted part of this community, you're going to win, because we are all finding each other. We are all powerful in our own rights. And we are manifesting the shit out of stuff. And last night, I walked through a portal. It opened up. You need to clear your energetic karma because we are about to fucking blow. Everything that you have been putting out into the world to have, you better make sure your slate is fucking clean because we're about to have it. So I'm just telling you. I'm about to get up off this, but I wanted to deliver a message for you real quick. I've been on this thing for hours. But Spirit told me I can't let you go without letting you know. So now you do. Yesterday was a fucking dream. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully I'll see you at the center later. Bye, Yosef.